Hey, it's Drew Bennett from Big Damn Kid, and today I'm talking about the fourth issue of the Transformers miniseries. You'll notice here on the issue, it's the last stand of the Autobots, or the Autobots' last stand, and you'll also notice that underneath the Transformers it says "More Than Meets the Eye." Yeah, you didn't see that on the first issue. First issue did not have that. Okay, second issue did not have that. I failed to notice that the third issue did have it. And in the comic itself, as you're reading it, in the third issue someone does say "More Than Meets the Eye," and in the fourth issue, as they're doing a news report, alright, so they're in a news report, it says something that's happening that's more than meets the eye, which is, you know, Transformers, they're more than meets the eye, because they're robots in disguise and all that stuff. That's something that is, you know, throughout the Transformers history, more than meets the eye. It's actually, for the current comics that were happening right now, there is Transformers, More Than Meets the Eye, and Transformers, Robots in Disguise. Those comics that are out for IDW. And, you know, it's just something that I just noticed here. So, we pick up where the last one leaves off. And we're at the Autobots base. They've rescued Sparkplug, but not all is well. The Autobots are not happy that Sparkplug gave the Decepticons the ability to, you know, synthesize fuel so that they could use it. And they basically, you know, see him as a traitor. Well, it's, again, something that, I don't want to say it, but more than meets the eye, is that there's a reason for all of this. So the Autobots have a big brouhaha, and in the meantime, Buster and Sparkplug try to escape, and they're blocked by a big flaming wall that Jazz shoots. So he shoots with his gun a big wall of flame, and Sparkplug suffers a heart attack. Okay, so he suffers a heart attack. He has to, well, we'll see in a couple more pages. But while that's happening, Buster's friend O is at a local bar that his father runs, and his father decides to drum up some business by dressing like Optimus Prime. He whipped that thing up really quickly. I mean, that's a pretty good, fast cosplayer, I tell you. And Buster's girlfriend, you know, trying to get her mind off of things, she goes to her dance studio and she's doing some dancing, so there's some definite 80s look there. The Autobots realize that they have to help Sparkplug, and Ratchet is best suited for that because Ratchet is an ambulance, so they put Sparkplug into Ratchet so that they can drive him to the hospital. So they take him quickly to the hospital. As they're going to the hospital, Sparkplug is thinking back over his time as a POW, the time when he was captured in Korea. And when he was captured in Korea, they made him use his mechanics ability. Okay? They made him use his mechanics ability to fix their cars and fix their vehicles and stuff like that. And so, you know, he's thinking back on that. He's in and out of consciousness. He's going in to the hospital. The hospital is going to take care of them. Meanwhile, the army is still at the Decepticon base, which has changed a little since the last time because that was like on the side of a mountain, and now it's a lot lower to the ground, so it's not quite consistent there. And at the base, Megatron, he just steps out of the base, and the army unleashes everything they have on him, and there's not a scratch. Megatron is perfectly fine. He just laughs and walks back inside. He walks back inside. He sees that there are still some of the Decepticons that are in need of being fixed up because of their tangle with Gears. Gears basically took out Thundercracker, Rumble, and Frenzy, as well as Soundwave. And it looks like there's just some like additional random Decepticons there. I don't know who those guys are. It actually could be, possibly could be Perceptor, not Perceptor, Reflector. Reflector is that he was the camera, and you could never find him. You have to like send away for him or something like that. Okay, so the Autobots, they're really distraught because the Decepticons have the fuel and they've got nothing. But Huffer comes up to Optimus Prime and tells him that when they landed, the probe went out and saw that there was another group. Like when they originally crash landed, there was there was a signal out there, and the drone went out to investigate. And when it did, it took in what the dominant species was at the time, 4 million years ago. And in that time, it was dinosaurs. Dinosaurs were the dominant species, but there was also shockwave. That's what the probe was looking for. It was looking for shockwave. So it sent out five Autobot warriors. I'm just going to make sure that they got this in here. 5 Autobot warriors. And those are the Dinobots. So you got Snarl, you got Grimlock, you got Swoop, Sludge, and Slag. Slag is not changed now, has been changed to something else because Slag has been used as a swear or something like that. So they've changed Slag to something else. I don't know, but you know what? Still gonna call him Slag. He was my favorite because I love Triceratops. Little fact about me is I had all these Transformers. My grandparents would go out and they would buy me a ton of Transformers. I get boxes of them for Christmas. The only ones I never got were Shockwave and Megatron because they were guns. And they didn't want me to have the guns, so I never got those guys. And probably should pick them up at some point now. Shockwave is a pretty cool character. He had lights and sounds and stuff like that, so that was cool. Megatron, the Walther P-38. So he was a cool looking gun. And Shockwave was pretty awesome. And plus Shockwave, he's like super analytical and just merciless. He is one tough guy. So, the Dinobots confront Shockwave 4 million years in the past, and that's about the end of that. So a probe has gone back out to see if they can find the Dinobots to help them. And in the meantime, you've got the Decepticons ready to mount an attack on the Autobot Ark because they're fully powered up. The Autobots are not. So the Autobots, in a last-ditch effort, they decide to get into these special tubes here. Okay, so they're in these special tubes where the guys on this side are going to transfer their power to the guys on this side. Now, looking at who is in the tubes, you've got 5 Autobots on one side. You've got Mirage, you've got Blue Streak, you've got Ironhide, Huffer, and Optimus Prime. Why didn't they use Brawn? That's what they basically siphon Brawn's power. Why do you pick Huffer over Brawn? You don't. You pick Brawn over Huffer. I don't understand why they did that. So anyway, they transferred the power over to these guys. They're now fully energized, and they're awaiting the return of the Decepticons. And they don't have to wait very long. The Decepticons are out there right at their door, blasting away into the volcano. They get into a fight, and you got a showdown between Mirage and Ravage. So Mirage and Ravage in another fight together. And this time, Mirage comes to realize, he says, I finally realized that is the only way I'll ever get to see Cybertron again, which means he's got to fight alongside his brothers in order to get back to Cybertron, which is the only thing he wants. He can't sit idly by on the sidelines. He has to go and he has to fight and help. So, meanwhile, that probe that they got going out there looking for the Dinobots, it's been found. It's found something, and something found it and crushes it. Well, that's ominous. We'll see what happens there. The Autobots are getting beaten. The Decepticons are attacking them, although, if you recall from the very first comic book, the cover, okay, on the very first cover, you got Optimus Prime grabbing Starscream. It's very, very disproportionate, but in this one, you got Optimus Prime grabbing Starscream right out of the sky. The power of Optimus Prime. In the meantime, there are a couple of EMTs who take Ratchet out because he's an ambulance and he's just sitting out there. So these EMTs take Ratchet out on a call, and the Decepticons are still attacking the Autobots. But we come back to Sparkplug, and here's a very important thing. You come back to Sparkplug. He's thinking again back to his time when he is a POW, and he's finally rescued. Okay, but what Sparkplug did when he was a mechanic is he tampered with the fuel lines and the brake lines of his captors. Okay, so he didn't actually become a traitor. And he didn't become a traitor for the Autobots either. What he did is he gave all the Decepticons tainted fuel. And so with their tainted fuel, I'm sorry, they'll get to that tainted fuel after Optimus and Megatron have a fight together, and Optimus, beats him. Actually, Optimus is about to be beaten by Megatron, and then all the Decepticons start doubling over in pain because Sparkplug has given them tainted fuel. Yeah, he's not a traitor. He's smart. He's not gonna, give in to the Decepticons. He's gonna make it look like he gave in to the Decepticons, but he's not gonna give in to the Decepticons. So, great. The Autobots, they won. Let me get that. All right, they won. That's awesome. But kaboom! What's happening here? That's, again, something ominous. Oh, sorry, kabloom. And look who has returned for the last page of the miniseries. Shockwave. The probe went out, it found Shockwave, and Shockwave found the Autobots and the Decepticons. That's it. That's it. That's the 4 issues. I thought, as a kid, reading that was amazing. And reading it again as an adult who loves the Autobots and the Transformers, the Decepticons, and has been with this series for 33 years, reading that again, it was pretty awesome. I mean, sure, it's the 80s, and so a lot of things were a little bit, nutty there. But it was really well done. And I, for one, am happy to start this journey and to continue on and read through all the things. So next issue is going to be the return of Shockwave, and we'll see what happens there. It has a really important cover, probably one of the most recognized covers of the Transformers comic books series ever. Anyway, this is Drew Bennett from Big Damn Kid. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook as Big Damn Kid, and you can always find me here because I'm doing a video every single day for 2017 or beyond, because I do have 2 giant long boxes full of my Transformers comic books, which I'm going to read about and then give you my review on them. So I appreciate you watching, and please come on back, please subscribe, leave me a comment, tell me what you think about it. Did you read these as a kid? Are you reading them now? What do you think of what I have to say about these comics? I'd love to hear what you have to say. So please, read on, subscribe, tell your friends, and interact. That'd be great. Thanks for watching.